Welcome back to the Crochet Creatus with my friends over at Joann.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Bernat Blanket Extra. This is week number 3, the final week, and today we're going to get our basket done. So in the last few weeks we've got our base done. We then grew it up about 12 inches to this area, and now we have 3 rounds left in order to create the handles that you see at the top of the basket. So there's only 3 rounds, so 1, 2, and 3 in order to play. We're still going to continue our split single crochets as we're going around. We're going to create a gapping spaces which creates the handles, and then we're going to be off to the races and good to go. So without further ado, let's head on into the tutorial and let's get started. So let's get started again. So before we begin this particular stitch along this week, we need to start marking where we need to go. So we're going to include the first stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to include all those 6. So now on the 7th one I want you to place a stitch marker, and this is going to indicate where we're going to place the handles when we go to work on this together. So include this one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and put a stitch marker there. I want you then to fold the bag equally in half and get the stitch markers to line up for the back. So just I got it folded in half, it's pretty much in the middle. So what I want to do is that I want to look backward, so look past it onto the other one and grab another stitch marker, and we're going to mark that one. So include that one plus the ones before it. And when I say before it, because we're rotating around like this and coming, so we're going to include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so you can see that those match up with each other. So this is where your handles are going to be, and then we're going to continue, and when we get to these we're going to just jump over top of them and make that gapping space so that your handles can go into place. So let's begin to work around now. So let's continue to do our split single crochet. So we're going to chain up 1 and you are going to split just like you have been. Again, follow the veins of the stitch work going up and you'll be able to see it with pretty easy when you go to do that. So I can either count that there's a total of 6 of these in a row, but because we started off and we counted the 6 already to know where this is gonna go, I'm just gonna rely on the stitch markers for this entire duration of this round. Okay, so here's the last one, and then the stitch marker is next. So where it's a stitch marker, we're now going to chain 6. So regular chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now just jump over that one and jump over the other one that's there because there's 6 in a row, and go to the 7th one. So it's the one on the opposite side, and continue to do your split single crochet. So what I want you to do is continue all the way around, and when you get to the other stitch markers just do the same thing. Just jump right over top of them and make sure you chain your 6 and then come right back around to the very beginning, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm coming all the way back around, continuing to do my split single crochet, and we're going to join like you normally have been joining all along. So just go to the top of the first one, pull through, and now we're going to begin round number 2. So round number 2, chain up 1 and start your split single crochet right away. And what I want you to do is that when you get to that chain 6 space, I need you to put in 8 single crochets into that same space. So that's gonna open up that handle quite nicely and fill it in to be more dense. So I'm just, you notice I'm not counting, I don't need to count, I'm just looking for the obvious signs of where things start and stop. Okay, so here's the chain. So I want to just go right around the chain itself and just single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now that I put 8 there, I simply just jump to the next one that's available to you and restart again the split single crochet. So what I want you to do now is that I want you to continue then all the way around. When you get to the other chain 6 space, put in your 8 single crochets and continue around, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Okay, and finally all the way around, and that's the last one. So join with the top of the first single crochet at the beginning, single crochet, and pull tight, and then that's it. So what we want to do is the final last round. Here we go. Chain up 1, and it's 1 split single crochet in each of the stitches, going each all the way around. And when you get up over top the handle, remember there's 8 there, so just keep going into each stitch as normal, and then meet me back here at the end, and your basket is completely done. So this is it. This is the conclusion. This is the final stitch. We're going to then just slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet, pull through and through, and then that's it. Game over. You are done. So now you're just gonna do an extra long tail, and you're going to use a thicker than normal darning needle because this is obviously thick yarn. Pull this through and just put this strand here on a darning needle. So I'm just using a thicker plastic, just one, just like you see. So the secret to hiding in any loose end is to get it to go back and forth into the project 3 times. So just turn it and flip it so that it's the inside of the basket, and just drag this through the stitch work. See, I don't see it on this side, so just drag it toward the back side and just pull it through. It's gonna be a little bit tough, but it might be for you. So once, and then pull it back in the other direction, just going through some fibers. So 2, and then going back in the other direction through a slightly different path. A project can never be stretched in 3 different directions, especially if you may be using it, especially if it's a basket, if it's more than just a show basket. And then you can safely then cut the yarn down. So you would have had to change your yarn over once, so you may have some loose tails in the inside of this, and that's good to go. And you can remove all your stitch markers, and your basket is fun and finished and fabulous. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining us for the Bernat Blanket Extra stitch along with our friends at Joann.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.